Hello, friends. It's John Klein III with episode 32 of Shadow and Flame with Magic, the podcast. And today we're going to review Marauders, the 2022 volume, issue 6. And let's get to it. And once again, thanks to Francisco for providing the theme song to the podcast. Really appreciate it. So we are skipping issues 4 and 5 because my lovely wife did not locate loads at Kelly's Comics in Great Falls, but she was able to get me half the other issues, so pretty appreciative of that and of her, of course. And this is Judgment Day, the Avengers X-Men Eternals crossover, because that happened, I suppose. This is part of the Destiny of X era of the Coca-Cola era, and let's jump to the summary page to see what we've been missing. Can you face yourself? Even Odd the Destruction, issue 6. Writer Steve Orlando, artist Andrea Braccardo, color artist Matt Milla, letter and production VC's Ariana Marr, maybe Mayer, design Tom Muir, cover artist Carl New, associate editor Lauren Amaro, editor Jordan D. White, and editor-in-chief C.B. Chabowski. And let's do this. The Eternals were created by the alien space gods known as the Celestials to protect the Earth. One of the Eternals' chief directives is to correct excessive deviation, and with the revelation of mutant resurrection, mutants have just become their biggest targets. However, some Eternals disagree with the Prime Eternals' ruling, and together the Avengers and the kidnapped Mr. Sinister, they use the Avengers headquarters, the diseased body of the Celestial, to create a new living god, the Progenitor. But once awakened, the Progenitor announced that everyone on Earth will be judged within 24 hours, and if Earth is found lacking, all will die. The events of this issue take place after AXE Judgment Day number 3, and they went to the Marvel fandom wiki, and they did confirm Kate's in there, Magic's in there, but I did a search for Kate, and she didn't get like a extra sentence in there, so I don't know what happened. But as far as I know, people liked the event for the most part. Like most crossovers, parts of it were better than others. Here we go. Kate Pride's in this. The cast of characters is Kate Pride, Aurora, Bishop, Somnus, Psylocke, Tempo, Dakin, Cassandra Nova, Birdie, who I believe is a crossover character, and Lockheed. So we're doing it, everyone. And speaking of Lockheed, we get a page in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Some guy who's cutting up an alien with a scalpel, and it looks like he removed like one of the organs. And he's like, "Another canvas complete. Do not look away. Gaze and share your revulsion, and be welcome to the theater of pain, as I once was. For too long I wandered, lost in a constant state of murderous rage. Brimstone love gave that rage purpose. As Scratch, oh yeah, so this guy's Scratch. I embody his teachings, for in wishing to kill everyone, I judge no one. Human and mutant can coexist. Xavier's first dream was right. And then we see up in the rafters. I should take a picture of this bottom page. But his methods were hopelessly wrong. It is more rules, more laws, more civilization that bring equality. And Loki's looking down at the events, but less. And then we get a very cute shock face. Animals have no prejudice. In a world of total veracity, all are equal. Then we see a rat looking at Lockheed from behind. So it's an interesting shot of Scratch, cut to the rafters, Lockheed, and then cut to another rafter, a rat with a big red smiley face, which I don't know if that's Cameron Hodge related. But, you see a smiley face Can Cameron Hodge be too far behind in his he'll name the right? And that's it for Lockheed. So I don't know. Hopefully, um, he's in the next issue. Um, and so then we get the recap page, and then we see that Exodus, Kate Pride, and Cassandra Nova are all chit chatting, and we get some narration boxes, but it's also their offhanded. And so we get a recap of the event thus far. What are you doing here, Pride? Really, Fabian? The Eternals were killing mutants. They wanted new programming, so they built a new god to get it, the progenitor. What could go wrong? We all found out the progenitor woke up and started visiting people, judging them, judging us, making us justify our own existence. The Eternals had already scapegoated mutants in their war against excess deviation, attacked Corolla, let loose their living extinction agenda on Arakko. Uranus all but got the job done. But the temple gates in pieces. The apocalypse is still in progress. Which is weird that they even use the word apocalypse when they have a friend named Apocalypse. And we've got mutants trapped in the altar, stranded in Legion's head. Cocoa Transit. That sounds like a rescue to me. And Kate looks awesome in her pirate outfit. And Exodus is not wearing pink, which seems like a missed opportunity. And Casanova is still wearing her weird helmet thing that she's. But they're back on Earth, so clearly the Shi'ar exercise is behind us now. I don't need a crone and a commodore to watch grass grow. We've got a pair doing your job on our boat, Fabian. Read the room. And pairs, P-E-A-R? So I don't know what that means. I could watch the gate. Shouldn't you be crying for a pillow of your crew? Those of us who face judgment are each handling in our own way. I choose to do so by emasculating born followers with a glance. Spite has also chosen to punish herself with your presence. Legion built the altar for healing. When the gates forms, the people coming through, they'll be scared, Cassandra, and Fabian's not exactly a welcoming mat. Surely that's why I've come. You're here to antagonize him. Doing great, by the way. From Aurora to Captain Pride. It's a data page. The word around the ship is that you and Bishop have been passing notes, Captain Pride. I thought it seemed old-fashioned, especially for a man from the future. But then I realized it's like putting your money under your mattress instead of online banking. In the world of digital access, going analog can mean security. Which is good because this is a sensitive topic. The whole world is feeling what the progenitor is doing, visiting people at random and forcing them to justify their right to exist. Some of us might be used to doing that, even to ourselves, but that question is enough to rock most everyone's outlook. And sorry, I'm highly distracted. All of a sudden, I'm doing this a couple of minutes before midnight of turning into April 25th, and I'm reminded my father's birthday is coming up. And it's the 29th, and there was a moment of panic when I was like, oh no, did I miss saying happy birthday to him? But we're 3 days away. We're good. 4 days away? Yeah. Anyways, slight panic. Back to the comic. Even to ourselves, but happy birthday, Dad. Even to ourselves, but that question is enough to rock most people's very outlook. If Earth hanging in the balance, we can't afford to be unsteady. So that got me thinking. I've been on my own journey for a long time, finding the best way to manage my relationship with my mind and all the identities inside it. Since the five brought her back, I've been meeting with Birdie. I figured anyone who used to spend their time keeping Sabretooth calm and level is ready for anything. She's helped me, Captain Pride. She's really helped, and right now, with her very senses of self challenged by a judgmental God, I think maybe that's the kind of help the whole crew could use. The thing is, Birdie and I have been working for months. We're not only just cracking the surface. I never trust her. But I trust her. I trust... Oof, Freudian slip there. I trust the crew within her. I mean, what did Stone Cold always say? DTA? Don't trust anyone? And I think with who we've got on this boat, we don't necessarily need months. When the Ken Crimson blew up the new Marauder, Somnus dropped us all into his dreamscape, which is just, that's helpful for us folks who don't quite understand Somnus's power. He can let people into a dreamscape. Our 7 minutes of error stretch into hours in the dream, and he said he could have stretched them even longer. So before we dive headlong into battle against the projector, I'm not asking for much. I'm asking for 10 minutes, a 10-minute nap where we let Birdie in. Between her and Somnus, that 10 minutes can be as long as each of us need to reckon with and unpack what the progenitor did to us. I know it might seem like the worst possible time for a nap, but trust me, Captain Pride. Give us 10 minutes and you'll get a crew that's fitter than ever and ready to fight to the end. And so this is issue that's very reminiscent of Peter A. David's X Factor issue by Joe Quesada. Um, is it called Examinations? Dr. Sampson is giving each X Factor member a counseling session. I don't recognize Birdie at all. I wonder if she's from Howard Mackey's X Factor days because of the Sabretooth reference. Hellfire Bay. So this is all in the dreamscape. So Birdie, who's a blonde lady wearing a very like cute, what's the easiest way to describe this? It's like a New Mutants outfit, but instead of where the yellow parts are, it's like a cute pink, and around her neck, like a scarf, is like a, well, it's a scarf, but with like Captain Marvel like a color scheme. So the part around the neck and out is red, and then you know what it is? It reminds me of Kate Pride's. Um, Tassels are yellow at the end of the scarf, but I don't know if it is like a scarf or is it just the top of the outfit, but it looks like an extra layer. Anyways, so Birdie is talking to Bishop first, trying to figure out what the progenitor, that's not, the progenitor, I was like, I'm missing a syllable in there, made him see. And so we cut to Bishop, and he's haunted by his old friends. Let's see here. Their names are gonna be. Come on. Okay, so their names are Malcolm and Randall, his old XSE crew from the future, and they're haunting him, saying, "Wait, why hasn't he brought them back to life yet? Because they died while he was working with them." Which, to me, the obvious answer is that they're from the future. So, I mean, do the X-Men even have their DNA to spawn them? And they're probably, because I want to say the current theory is that Bishop is always permanently 2 generations out. No matter what generation we're currently in, he's always 2 out. So, like, Bishop's grandmother's, is a forever 6, I imagine is the thought. And whenever we see a character projecting to Bishop from the progenitor's point of view, they have a gnarly, like, missing eyeball, and within that eyeball is like a Terminator red eye sticking out of it. And Bishop says what he fears most, easy, told them I wasn't special, told them the truth. I'm not waiting to resurrect Malcolm and Randall because the world's too good for them. I'm waiting because I haven't made it good enough for them. Nobody knew how I felt about the guys, Birdie. The progenitor threw it in my face, and and Birdie's like, nope, stop. I told you, Bishop, I'm not interested in the result. You spoke a painful truth. And then she cuts to Aurora, who is in her dreamscape. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 personalities are in play, all in very different outfits. One's a punk version of her, one's a tomboy version of her, with like overalls. A business lady, a classy lady from, I don't know, a 19th. I don't know, like whenever the Gone the Wind is supposed to be. Um, let's see here, sporty one, some just casual wear, and she's haunted by his name was Headlock, a brainwasher. Took over my mind years ago. So I don't know if that's part of that Frank Thierry's was it X Force? No, Weapon X title. Um, but he's all haunting her like, no, Gina Marie, but I am here to evaluate your progress, all of you now. These are interactive cards, a human creation. This set is by Demisio Petrie, a prolific mutant painter. Just choose 7 cards that you currently relate to. And then she pretty much just like blasts him out of her mind. Um, and so I thought maybe she had a helpful, um, and she recognizes that she's not inside her mind, she's inside a dream. Um, and so I guess the, what's his name? Oh yeah, Headlock. That's a lock of L-O-K. Um, somehow in her dreamscape, he showed up and it wasn't Birdie in the disguise of him, or the guise of him. He's like, he couldn't fool me, of course. Who knows if he even wanted to? Our answer was clear. He was not. But thanks to you, we didn't care. Exactly. I know it hasn't been long, Birdie, but you always believed in us. Then we see Tempo, who is inside a sumo wrestling match with her old friend Samo. She says that wasn't really his name. His name was June Tinta. And we learn, or I learned, that Tempo was part of the Mutant Liberation Front, who I only know from when Danny was undercover in that organization. And she was on a mission with, I guess we should use his real name, the June Tinta, who's a sumo wrestler. And I guess she has the ability to go back in time. And so, in her words, there's a reason I don't just change the past if you're successful. Most don't even know, but I always remember back in the Mutant Liberation Fund, June and I weren't close, but we were X Force hit an MLF raid, and a Unix kill team saw their chance, nuked everyone except us. I tried to warn June, but he demanded we change it, so we went back. Just June killed the Inunix freaks, saved both teams, saved Cable, and the timeline revised as it our mission never happened. Get it, big man? Only I knew. June was a hero, and the next time we saw X-Force, Cable shot him in the head. I guess the progenitor asked everyone to provide a reason to justify why they should live, and some people's answers are very lacking. And Tempo's answer was, she has a right to live, and so does June. The progenitor could change how he wanted, but I wasn't justifying a damn thing. And Birdie's like, that's very brave. It is what it is. If we live, I'm putting my friend in for resurrection. Then I'm telling him everything. And then we see Psylocke, Revenge, and in her mind, she is killing Sinister, the Focus Totality. Always cool to see. And she's saying that the progenitor should never have taken, if he wanted to have a real chat with her, he would never have taken the form of Sinister to talk to her. And I guess this is why I looked up to see if Kate got a dream sequence in Judgment Day 3, but I imagine she didn't, and this was part of a montage page. And we learned that apparently Revenge had a daughter or a kid, because we see her right hugging a kid. To live this life in this body is something was long denied, and every day I think of those denied that, those I've lost, those I love. I fight in their name, Masuso, John, especially her, which made the progenitor's next move quite the dagger. And then the baby now is possessed by the genitor, Which of you should I be judging, Mom? The enemy of peace, of the love that transcended body and soul? Are you the one you were born as, or the one you died as? And Bertie's like, I'm so sorry, Psylocke. Why? I am a war captain. I lead through pain. This was no different. I could not falter Bertie. So I made it very clear the progenitor would find my justification of the battlefield, where I'd stand against him until I could stand no more. You threaten a god? I spoke the truth. His actions were an intrusion, one I could repay in blood. He glared in anger, and nodded with approval. And then we see Somnus, and he's talking to Northstar in a classic uh, Alpha Flight uniform. One I don't recognize. It's all mostly red, but on his right side, there's a stripe of white from his shoulder to his boot. A boot. And he has like white gloves and white wristbands. I don't know, it's a pretty awesome costume. And so Somnus gives us more of his origins than I ever knew. He says, John Paul Bermuda in my bedroom. I must be dreaming. I can still see the headlines. North Star as you've never known him before. Personally, I was only hoping biblically. There you were, screaming your truth on the news, and there I was, over the hill, in the closet, brother, uncle, confirmed bachelor, living my days of half-truths and my nights, one night and one dream at a time. Seeing you so public, I never thought we would get this far. You were my hero. And the progenitor North Star is like, if you admire me so much, Somnus, why not come out? Why stand up for yourself and join me? You think I don't constantly ask myself that? Back then, we were fed lies by our families, our government, lies about what strong is, about what sin is. I was scared of losing the siblings I raised, the family we built. But just as I thought maybe the risk was worth it, a virus attacks one part of who I am. Just as we started to understand that, another comes from another part of me. So yeah, I was afraid. Me, the man of every guy's dreams. And Bertie's like, it must have been hard to talk about that, answer that. When I'm in someone else's dreams, I'm a guest, an explorer. But in mine, I might as well be God. I control it all. The progenitor came into my head and asked me why I deserved life, when I wasn't brave enough to live it the first time. Usually I'd be nothing to him, but in my dream I had all the power I needed to show him the door. I didn't owe him an answer, but I'll tell you, and he throws North Star through the window. You don't have to. I want to. I need to say it. I can't change the past, Bertie. But I'm living now, and I won't spend a single second of that. I really like the coloring in these two pages. As anyone but myself. Speaking of self, Birdie is talking to Dakin, who's going by Fang now, apparently. And Fang's surrounded by cute little monkeys. And, trying to think, are they named? No, anyway, so Dakin's greatest enemy is himself. Now he says he has gone by many names. I've come to others as a lover, an enemy, a friend, whatever face cuts deepest. But you, Dakin, the face that cuts you deepest is your own. How could such a dog justify its existence? And you said? Said I've been a dog, a hunter, a killer, just living out the names that others put on me. Kahiro? Got that for being born. Dakin? A weapon they use against me. I'm not looking to justify, but I'm done living those names. Fang? I earned that name. Sure, I've killed. I'll kill again, and it'll be for me and mine. I told him it was too late for me to stay. I deserved to die. He judged accordingly. I'm sure I failed. I don't care. I know I owe blood, and if he or anyone else wants to collect, they're welcome to try. And so then everyone wakes up and they're feeling better and ready for what's going to come next. Aurora says, and you, Birdie, whatever happens after judgment's done, you prepared us for it. I got my talents, Aurora, and I just drew the blueprints. You did the hard part. You hear a cocoon. Then we get a sideways ad for Miles Morales Spider-Man 42 by Saladin Ahim, Christopher Allen, Carmen Carreno, Paco Medina, and more, covered by Tareen Clark. The lovers, the star, strength, the courage granted to you by those you care for will help you preserve through the challenges. Miles unites with his friends, family, allies against an insidious threat in this oversized spectacular. Once again, that was issue 42. And then there was another ad on the next page for Carnage and Helm. So then we get back to Fabian, Cassandra Nova, and Kate Pride. Done, finally. I've never suffered such an agonizing weight. You were quite free to commit ritual suicide, young man. If Fabian offed himself, how could he take the credit for evacuating the altar? Someday I'll force feed both of you those words. Oh my, will you make me wear Magneto's helmet while you do so? And Aurora telepathically talks to him. Captain Pride, I'm here, Aurora. You felt that, right? We all did, Captain. You wanted to. Oh no, Kate's. You wanted 10 minutes. You got them. Cassandra and I will meet you. Good news, Fabian. The gate's about to open, and the credit's yours. Assuming Ina would survive. So Bishop's shaking Kate's hands. Intel's hot, Captain. We're moving on the progenitor. Good, Bishop. It's about time. And Bertie's too bad you bailed. Would have loved to peek inside your leathered head. How unprecedented. A canary that begs for the coal mine. And then we cut to a mysterious narrator. Penetrating scans decrypting the mutants are preparing for war. Of course, even as the world suffers celestial judgment, mutants hubris all but demands an escalation of tensions. Oh, and now this giant celestial I'm recognizing as progenitor. Another gift to Orcus. Get all the footage you can. If Earth goes on, it must be clear who brought us to the brink. Thunderbirds post police assault. Brimstone loves torture cult. Nature Girl's murder spree. And then there's an ad for Marvel Voices coming Comunidad #1, Marvel's greatest Latin and Latinx creators reunite to take on the next generation of Latin and Latinx heroes. So that's pretty cool. And so another petal opens, and hearts and minds bloom to our cause. Mutants threaten us all with their struggle for so-called freedom. Truth is that the truth, as Judas Traveler wills it. And I can't believe legit Judas Traveler from the Spider-Man Clone Saga is in an X-Men book. And I guess working for Orcus, the human organization that's going to try to kill the X-Men. And then we get our final data page of the issue. Um, from Celebra to Captain Pride. This is the first letter I've ever written, Captain Pride, and I'm glad it's to you. The Krakoa era was all but legend for us in 2099, so I guess that's where Celebra is from. To think it's in 2099 always triggers me lately because I realized like a year ago, or whenever Turtle Soup, um, it was pre 300, so I don't know, but there was a pre-game because they go live on Thursdays or most Thursdays, and I share, and some of them were talking about future years and science fiction. I talked about how it makes me sad I'm never going to see 2099. And poor Eric, one of the co-hosts of Turtle Soup, was like, I sort of blew his mind and sort of ruined, like jokingly ruined like the rest of that podcast because he kept being like, well, we're not, like, none of us are going to see 2099. And it made me think, I was like, well, will Walker see 2099? I mean, he was born in 2013, so I mean, he'd be 80, but modern medicine, who knows what can happen? He might see 2099, but I don't know, because it's the idea of like, I don't know, because in my mind, what would be fun is if like in 2080, it's called 2082, they do something like the big hero war that happened, or the end of the hero age, and then, well, 82 would be too long, but maybe in 2090 they could do the big hero end of the hero age, and then just throw a hat over the wall and just say, yep, for now on, Spider-Man 29, Hulk 2099, Doom 2099, X-Men 2099. I think 3 examples is good enough. I think I did 4 though, but I do love that joke of naming 4 things or 2 things and saying 3's enough. Anyways, and then just because I mean, what are they gonna do? Like, have everything just exist at the same time? I mean, come on. There's got to be some file saying yes. When it comes to like January or December 19 or 2098, like we are going to do something for 2099, everyone. That's our one job. Hopefully, looking down from heaven, I can look over someone's shoulder and be like, oh, they're doing it. This is amazing. But anyway, so 29 triggers me to have these rapid thoughts I have. So I'll try to take a breath and let's get back into this. To think it wasn't even 10 decades prior, and some of us didn't even think it was real. But after Krakoa's highs, decades of lows followed. I suppose when the world's getting worse every day, you want to forget the X-Men, which is a cute way of showing like the Krakoa era does end, and when it ends, it's gonna be disastrous. So, the modern day creative teams are like, this makes us laugh. I know, like, a year later, people are still like, when's it gonna end? Because I guess everyone's just worried that we're gonna go back to the mansion at some point and just, have smaller teams again. But it's like, it's just appreciate the ride while we're in it, everyone. Um, You want to forget the X-Men I left behind was finally on the verge of finding a forever home. I threw myself in the path of a sentinel to save one of our own. I was ready to die for him, but it wasn't to be. Cable, my second in command, was always mysteriously with his knowledge. By 2099, there was no five, no mutant resurrection. So, as I lay dying, he brought me here, where I didn't have to. Now I'm living the legend. As a leader of 2099's X-Men, I look up to you. And truth be told, I was more of a Spider-Man 2099 guy. So I don't remember any of the X-Men characters. We had the X-Men 2099 toys, but yeah, I must have read the backs of those cards, but I think there's a Mean Street character, um, who had a very Cyclops looking outfit. He's the one I remember the most, and there was a red vampire guy, Blood something. Yeah. So those are my two memories. I'm living the legend. Your uncompromising heart, your unwavering courage. I knew you and so many others here from little more than digital recollections or the tales Rogue would tell us over a campfire. It's only been days, but I'm in awe of every moment here. I'm living in history and rewriting my own. And there is nowhere I'd rather do that than by side with you. When the time is right, I know you're inviting me to join the Marauders. I know I wouldn't be the only one new to Krakoa among your ranks. You think that would help. But even if I hadn't arrived just in time for the Celestial attack, I think I would still need time not to be a Marauder and just be. That said, Bishop has told me that you have a problem I might be uniquely suited to solve. I'm a telepath, yes, but my telepath, telepathy is biometric. I read and record DNA, genetics, and biology along with minds. Can tune into certain X genes. You have a time drive you can't open. Inside it is fractured data from the last survivors of Threshold, mankind's first generation. Understandably, you'd like to get it out. I may be able to help. Right now, it's five created in an egg, and a telepath implants a psychic backup into the body as it hatches. That is Krakoan resurrection. I can't make an egg, but I don't have the capacity to hold more than a few tin plates. But I think I can read your time drive, reassemble the pieces inside, and implant them directly into an egg. From there, all the Threshold survivors need to do is hatch. I can't make any guarantees, Kipton, but Corolla saved my life, my home now, and if I can give back even the smallest of ways, you can be sure I intend to do so. Which is fun as, they did a sidestep for the Judgment Day crossover, and now we're going to prolong one of the, or not prolong, but continue one of the subplots of the series. Next, Resurrecting the Past, issue 7, which the AXE tie-in issues is AXE Death of the Mutants 2, Immortal X-Men 6, Marauders 6, Wolverine 25, AXE Judgment Day 4, X-Force 32, X-Men Red 6, AXE Judgment Day 5, Avengers 60, and Fantastic Four 47. Back cover ad is for the Citizen Echo Drive Purpose for Power Watch with a Black Panther theme to it. Looks very fancy. Super titanium strength. And that, everyone, was issue 6. So the next issue of this series we review will be issue 7. So that's fun. We have 7 to 8, and then we skip to 12. So that'd be fun to see what we come out of it. But since this is the last day of April, or the last Monday of April, I can finally announce we're gonna pause the Marauders side quest we've been on, and we're also gonna continue to pause the 41 issues, which I think I have 3 more of. So we can, sprinkle those in because we still have 8 months, or no, I guess 7 months. So, and I got big plans for September and October, but we reveal that much later in the year. But unless you've been following me on Twitter, then I've pretty much all but said it. But what I'm going to say about this is that we're going to pause Marauders for sure in the 41 issues, and we're going to start next week with the Trial of Jean Grey, the Guardians of the Galaxy all new X-Men crossover, to tie in the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 that comes out next weekend, I believe. Um, so, and then I imagine we're probably, if we can watch that movie, well, I'm sure we'll watch it at some point in May, but we would do a special episode that will either replace a Monday but I'm going to do all 6 issues no matter what. So it's going to definitely go from May to June and then be some parts of June. So that's pretty exciting. Or I'm sorry, I think it's pretty exciting. Hopefully you will also agree. And so thank you so much everyone for listening to episode 32 of Shadow and Flame with Magic the Podcast. Um, and this was Marauders 2022 issue 6. And I'm going to post that Lockheed page on the podcast's Twitter and Instagram, which you can find at SNFWM. You can follow me on Twitter and YouTube um, at Jacko SIII. And right now I'm currently doing a Fallout 4 Silver Shroud series because on Sunday I was very excited about wanting to play as the Silver Shroud and to do a complete playthrough, and I wasn't sure exactly how that will unfold. Like I was envisioning like 5 episodes to get to Good Neighbor, but turns out I did it in 2. And the first one, you know, didn't lose a lot of time, but spent time just doing the initial story mode and getting out of the vault of Fallout 4. And and then I met Dogmeat, and then because my main goal was to meet Dogmeat and then go to Good Neighbor and start the Shroud. So next time I do the YouTube video, I'm going to start the Silver Shroud storyline. So I don't know how many videos that will be, but I'm just excited that it only took me 2 episodes of setup, and then I'm hoping to do episode 3, Silver Shroud Origins. So if you like Fallout 4 or Golden Age, uh, Golden Age heroes in a post-apocalyptic world, boy, do I have a series for you, and girl, and all people in between and out of between. Um, and so that's at YouTube, Jackal SIII. Also, this past weekend, Fallout 4 and the season pass was like combined $18. So I was like, let's do it. And so I did. So it all just came together wonderfully. Um, so podcasts. Oh, and then if you want to follow the blog, um, that's at shadowandflamemagic.com. The 10th anniversary is coming up on June 30th, so that's pretty exciting. We should be, um, well, I imagine we'll be done with the Trial of Jean Grey by then, but I'm looking forward to the Guardians 3, doing those 6 episodes, rereading those comics, and recording those episodes. So hopefully I can entertain you and spend some time in your ears. All right, everyone. I got to work on my exits, but that's just something I'm going to continue to work on, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye, everyone.